So today we're going to look at the table display file, and what this page does is it retrieves information from the database and puts it into a table. So it is working on from the login examples, this one and this one. Some of the code has changed slightly, so I'll just run through it. So I'm starting with a kind of a scaled back file. And we're just going to slowly build it up to obtain this file here. So what we will first look at is what this site looks like. So localhost 888, localhost, I log out. So what we'll first look at is we'll have a look at see what this website actually is. So we'll go to localhost, and you may recognize this from a previous login screen. And here I've put in the credentials to be able to log into our site. So CCT Dublin. I think I may have misspelled that. CCT Dublin with a capital D. And I'm in. So if we go to page 2, we can see here this information is actually being retrieved from the database. So second thing is, at the moment there's no style sheet attached to it. So I'm going to copy and paste a style folder that I've made earlier. And we don't have to go through the whole style sheet. So now when I refresh, I have a little bit of a style, a better looking login screen at least. CCT again, I'll log in, and now I can see that my page is styled slightly differently. So and the first thing we're going to look at is just a little bit about the structure of this site as it stands. So we've seen before from last year that we can organize our files into different folders. So at the moment we have JavaScript, image, fonts, CSS, and so on. Now we're going to take this a bit of a step further, and we're going to create a folder called public, and we're also going to create a folder called private. Now this is a security feature where anything that's going to be visible to the public we can put into this public folder. So we have a login screen, an index. I can put in my page 2 and my logout. These files here are just really kind of what the information was being shown in our web page. This database connection file here, we can see here all the credentials are saved here. So we want this to be a little bit more secure. So the way we can do that is we can put this into a private folder like so, and this session variable, I might put this into private as well. And then all of these folders, CSS, fonts, image.js, they can all go into my public file. So I'm just going to change that. It's a little bit quicker over here. So now I have two folders, a private folder where I can put in my functions, I can put in initialization files, my database connection, sessions, and so on. All your configuration files, you tend to put that into a private folder, whereas anything that's going to be on the front end you can put into a public folder. So what you do in your web server then is that you set the root folder to the public folder instead of this folder here. If this is set to the root folder, the user will in no way be able to access this because it's a level higher. So on your server then you would change this to your root folder to be the public folder. So I'm going to log out for now. I have a user called admin in my database, and also CCT. If I log in, at the moment it's not working. Now the reason why it didn't work is because we're after moving a load of files into folders. So the paths that were there previously have now been changed. So in our index, for example, if we want to include our session folder, we would have to go up one folder and then back into the private folder. So from our index we go up one folder and then back into our private folder, and here we have our session file. So I'll speed the video up a little bit, but for each file that we've included we just have to correct the path again. So we're going to go up one folder, so .. / and then back into private. Refresh this, and now I'm successfully logged in. My page 3 as it stands is just a broken link, and that's what we're going to look at next.